This is Talk About Topeka on Gab Local TV and TV 25. This episode brought to you by Field of Greens and The Break Room. And here's your host, Chris Schultz.
All right, so we're here in the gablocal.tv studios, and I've got a fantastic friend here and an incredible artist joining me. I'm going to read from her card here a little bit about some of the things that she does. Myths retold, fairy tales relived, lives remade, modern magic through the spoken word, traditional, fractured, personal, original fiction, and more. Performance, consultation, and commissions. Check it out, laurapacker.com. We've got Laura Packer here in the studio with us. How are you, Laura?
I'm just fine. How are you, Chris?
Great. Thanks for being here with us. And we're really excited to be able to talk about an event that's been going on in Kansas City. This is the 12th year for it, the Kansas City Fringe Festival. Just for our viewers who don't know, what that might be, give us a little overview of that.
That's a great question. Fringe festivals are arts festivals that encompass spoken word, theater, music, dance, film. In the case of Kansas City, we also have paintings and sculpture. Mm-hmm. So it's all artwork, it's unjuried. So you apply to get into the Fringe Festival and all different kinds of artists get in, and it's uncensored. So there's a whole range of art that's available to audiences, so people can see a great deal of different kinds of performance and art for very little money.
Yeah, and it lasts from July 21st through the 31st. So we have 10, 11 days there to be celebrating art in Kansas City. And there's some really great art to celebrate. I want to talk a little bit about your art here. You are a storyteller. So tell us a little bit about how you got into storytelling and what's your background with this?
Well, my mom is now retired, but she was a children's librarian, and my father was a writer. So I grew up hearing stories. They told me all kinds of stories out of their lives. My mom told me fairy tales. My dad told me stories about his childhood, and I then started telling the fairy tales to my friends. I went on to get a degree in fairy tales at Boston University, so I can talk about fairy tales with authority, academically at least. And then I started being a performing artist. I've been performing for over 20 years in all kinds of venues all around the world.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, so before we go into your kind of art, I want to tell everybody a couple of times here. kcfringe.org is the website to find any information that you'd like about this festival. There's so much stuff on there, so many things happening, and so many ways to be celebrating the art. But I want to talk a little bit about your art. So give us just a taste or a sample of like what we could expect when we come to your event.
Oh, if you come to my Fringe show, I'm telling fairy tales for grown-ups. So I'm looking at what happens after Happily Ever After and before Once Upon a Time. Fairy tales were not originally stories just for children, so it's really interesting thinking about how can adults reclaim them. They're stories about all the different kinds of things that happen in our lives. There's stories about love and loss and jealousy and what it's like to be poor and what it's like to be rich and all of those things that we crave and hunger for. And you also have witches and wizards and magic spells and enchantment and all of that fun stuff. So I'm retelling a selection of fairy tales specifically for adult audiences, so they are a little darker, a little sexier, a little funnier than you might find in a typical children's book.
Very cool, very cool. So you have an event going on. It's going to be at the Fish Tank. It's Saturday, July 23rd, and you've got actually three different performances of this. So Saturday, July 23rd, Tuesday, July 26th, and Friday, July 29th. And of course, you can find more information about that on kcfringe.org. So this is really cool. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be good. But what's it like for you to be able to participate with all these other artists in Kansas City? Is there a camaraderie among this?
It's thrilling. Everybody supports everybody else's shows. Because I'm performing, I will go to lots of other shows and be exposed to lots of other kinds of art. I have friends who are doing other storytelling performances, theater performances, dance performances. It is wonderful. The artists really support one another and really help hold each other up. So we all become better artists by the end and part of a stronger community.
This is very cool. So are there any other Fringe Festival folks that are up here that we want to make sure we get the call in that you're looking forward to?
Absolutely. If you enjoy storytelling, if you're interested in storytelling, you should look for Jamie Mayo's performance. She's doing a piece about coming of age, but it's a very adult story. You should look for Priscilla Howe, who is a Kansas City, Kansas-based storyteller. She's doing a piece of trickster tales that she learned and translated in Bulgaria, from Bulgaria.
Cool.
There are a variety of other storytellers. There are some great theater pieces, but those are the two artists whom I know the best, and I'm really excited about their performances.
Okay, so there's no like heavy competition about it.
Oh, no, we all support each other, absolutely.
That's exactly the way
I'll
it
go
is,
to theirs, they'll come to mind.
Right, the rising tide lifts all boats.
That's
it's
right.
Good to see that. And the Kansas City Fringe Festival has been doing that and encouraging that now, going on 12 years. So it's very exciting. So support them. I want to read just a little bit, right off of their website here, just a description of WTF. What's the Fringe? So we're going to put that out there. KC Fringe is a Missouri-based not-for-profit organization whose mission is to support artists, celebrate expression, and engage the community. We do this by organizing the KC Fringe Festival and annual 11-day performing and visual arts extravaganza. It straddles a thin frayed line between mass appeal and eclectic tastes. Fringe links these two worlds together, showing that it is the bridge you take to be inspired and entertained no matter what your taste may be. And then on the website, you can just find all of this stuff. So I definitely encourage you to check it out. It's something you're not going to want to miss out on going in Kansas City and this entire Midwest area, because that's where people are coming from this. This is a huge event.
It's a huge event. There are people coming from all over the Midwest. There's some performers coming from New York City. There's at least one dance company coming from New York City. I believe there's a theater company coming from the San Francisco area. The Kansas City Fringe has become one of the major fringes in the United States. It's really exciting seeing what's going on.
Excellent. Well, I say break a leg. Do you say that to storytellers?
Break a leg or sprain your tongue is another one.
Sprain your tongue. Okay, that's a good one. All right. Well, okay. Well, I wish you all the best with that, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Folks, you can find her website at laurapacker.com, or you can, of course, visit kcfringe.org for a full schedule of what's going on. And check out her shows, Fairy Tales for Grown-Ups. That's coming to the Fish Tank Saturday, July 23rd, 26th, and 29th. Be there. Get the Fringe button. It's just $10. You're going to have a great time. Thank you so much, Laura Packer, for joining us to tell us all about the KC Fringe Fest.